Well, Joseph and I are back this week. You get to hear his TV show in the background right now. But we're going to get started right now. Bam, hit theme music.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Tiny whiny stuff.
Take two. Welcome to More Geek Than Gay. I'm Joseph.
Hi, I'm Edward.
We're back.
We're back. Ow. 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 How's your day?
What was that for?
I did something weird with my foot yesterday, and it's back to hurting again.
Your eye?
My foot.
Yeah, you said my eye did something weird to my foot. So what did your eye do to your foot?
I said I did something.
No, you said my eye.
Well, I might have said my eye because I might have started a different sentence with the word my and then realized, nah, it's just I. So, my foot hurts again today.
You're also bleeding on your foot.
Yeah, that's a cat.
Oh, cat scratch?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the joy of cats. So how have you been?
Okay. Busy.
You have not been on for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. Because I haven't felt like it.
Hey, Mr. Biggie.
Mr. Biggie's here.
But
he's got a little stomach on him now. Did you feel that?
I know. He looks like he's filling out as much as a two-dimensional cat can. Yes, as much as a two-dimensional cat can.
He wasn't happy with me yesterday.
He was not happy with you?
No, he was not happy. Mr. Biggie was not happy with me at all.
What did you do to him?
Huh?
What did you do to him?
Not give him his special food.
Well, yeah.
Because now every time I go to the bathroom, he thinks he's going to get special food.
He probably does. He's kind of gotten that way with me, too, where he's like going, oh, hey, you're going to get that canned food for me, right? And it's like, no, that's just a little thing, and, like, I'm even thinking, like I said yesterday, thinking about putting that on a halt until we know for sure that that's not what caused him to get sick or whatever. Although he seems to be doing better again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. But, so nothing's been going on special this week?
Joshua Tree, darts, had a busy weekend. Have kind of a busy weekend this weekend.
I know, you got a meeting on Saturday.
Yeah, I got a meeting on Saturday. Jaji was out last weekend. Daytime drag, too, no less.
2 days in a row.
Saturday and Sunday, two daytime drag things.
Morning drag.
Daytime drag.
That's morning drag even seems worse than daytime drag. Daytime drag seems like it could be just like an afternoon party or whatever that leads into like an evening. No, this was like people are eating breakfast.
Brunch.
It's not even noon yet, and there's drag queens around. Someone doesn't understand drag queen scheduling. But those would go well?
Those went well. It was just a busy weekend. It took me a couple days to recover. And then Joshua Tree's been busy, so I've been having to, let's see, I was there on Monday for like 4.5 hours. And then Tuesday, I went in for about an hour, Tuesday morning. And then yesterday, I was there, 9 until, took you to work, and then went back, and I didn't get up.
About 4:30 or something?
It was a little after 4, I left Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
So basically 9 to 3 because there was an hour break to pick you up and take you to work.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been being kept busy with stuff.
Uh-huh.
But
And then tonight I'm going out with the family to the Symphony Hall because they're having it's preview night for the mariachi music opera, and my sister was able to get free tickets to that.
Uh-oh.
Close up of Kitty.
Mr. Biggie's back at the camera. He's back doing his close-up.
I would call for him to come over here, but
He's deaf as a deaf cat.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Biggie. Hey, Mr. Biggie. Okay. So there we go. Mr. Biggie is back with us. He's a chin cutie. Yes, you are. So, what are we talking about this week?
All right. Since you haven't talked about Doctor Who, let's talk about Doctor Who because we saw Doctor Who on Sunday.
We did see Doctor Who on Sunday. Yep. I didn't want to talk about Doctor Who without you.
Well, I don't really have much of Doctor Who.
I saw you started writing notes.
Doctor Who, it just says Doctor Who on it.
Oh, that's all your notes say? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I have.
I thought you had more notes than that.
For an
Because I thought I saw you write down Doctor Who, and I go, oh, he's got notes going.
No, I just wrote Doctor Who, and the only thing that really concerned me is like, okay, everybody was bitching and moaning about the episode and all upset and all Twitter-pated about it, and it's like, I don't know why. You said it's because of the science. I'm like, well, so it's a children's show. It's not supposed to be completely scientific.
Now,
it's a television show. It's for entertainment.
Now, again, back to the whole children's show comment, then it should be more accurate.
Why?
Because it's supposed to be... BBC children's shows fall into their educational programming. And therefore, it should be more accurate on its physics. I mean, yes, there is a case of, like, it has to, bend things for the sake of storyline and everything, because it is science fiction. But, the idea that the moon would gain weight because it's about ready to hatch makes absolutely no sense as far as physics goes. And the idea that, nothing would happen. It's like, no, things would happen. So, that part... But I'll be honest, I actually found that to be somewhat of a minor concern. Not because it's a children's show, but because it's a science fiction show that has, it's a thinking science fiction show. It's always been more philosophical idea thinking, not science thinking. Okay, it's not a heavy science fiction show. It hasn't been science-y since, really the 70s, even though it was still in that category.
It hasn't been science-y since its conception. It's never been science-y.
It was kind of science-y at its conception.
Really?
Yeah, it was, actually.
Oh,
if you see the old black and white episodes...
Yeah, and see nothing but Elizabethan costumes.
No, the Elizabethan costumes came out in color, actually. During the science fiction, during the black and white episodes, lots of really weird things that you go, well, hey, look at them. They had a barn in the back, and they decided to put on a show. With the really good camera shots, though. I still say you need to see the first appearance of the Daleks.
Nope.
It is an excellent, excellent series that I still say holds up very well.
I tried seeing the first set of Doctor Who's. I did not like it. I was bored.
Okay. But the historicals I used to find, I was like, oh my god, these historicals are just so
well,
dull.
you're not one for history. Which is why I got a kick out of the fact that you liked the Three Musketeers. Or the Musketeers on
BBC
okay.
America. Yeah, it was intriguing. It had intrigue and stuff, and Capaldi being all evil. So that was kind of nice. Well, being all dubious. Evil's...
Not quite right.
Because he had his reasons. He thought he was doing for the best.
Well,
but
aren't all villains like that?
Some villains are doing it just for the joy of being evil. The Joker. The Joker's not really trying to do what he thinks is right in his mind. He's doing what he thinks is just fun and whatever. But the thing that I thought was interesting about the Doctor Who episode that no one has mentioned is that once it is discovered, okay, the premise is that there's these, they go to the moon with it's Clara and then the girl who, now I can't remember her name.
That's why I write things down.
I had her name down last week, and I can't remember her name now. But the girl from the school, they go off to the moon to basically a field trip for her. And during that, they discover that there's stuff going on the moon, kind of a crisis, and the moon apparently is actually a big egg, and it's about ready to hatch. And so what do you do with that? Because, you know, there's now a big, gigantic moon-sized creature that's going to come out of the moon. The thing that I found interesting is that about midway in the episode, there is a pro-life, pro-choice discussion going on with almost the exact same phrasing that you hear in those discussions. The doctor is making this weird thing about, like, do you kill the baby? Do you keep and it was the weirdest thing.
I didn't get that at all. To me it felt like one of those. It's like, okay, do you kill something to save the world, or do you let something live?
Oh, and that's what it was in. But the wording that they used was oddly very much like the wording that is used in the pro-life and pro-choice discussion, which I don't know if that's the same wording they use in England, and maybe that's why.
Because they don't have that issue. We only have that issue.
But so
you
I don't know
discussing
why.
that is not even pointless because they don't have that issue. So why even have it? They don't know any of that stuff.
Okay. So, yeah, and then it looks like next episode, Clara is not going to be around.
Really?
They didn't remember, she said that she's done, and then the preview for the next episode, they did not show her in one shot at all.
I don't remember that.
In the preview, she is not seen in any of the shots. Now, I'm not saying that she definitely won't be in the next episode. They may be just kind of playing with the fact that she quit at the end of the episode. But yeah, she was not in the preview. So
yeah, well, the Doctor has always had episodes by himself. I mean, he did that even with Rose. He went on a couple of adventures without her.
Yeah, historically, the Doctor has always gone with his companion, except for in the new series when he's gone a couple times in between companions. So it is kind of interesting, though, still, the idea that, because, like, I think pre-new Doctor Who, the only time the Doctor went without a companion was a Tom Baker episode, which came about just because he stated that he could do the show without a companion. He didn't see a reason for there to be a companion. The Doctor is good enough by himself. And so he drops off Sarah Jane, goes on a little solo adventure with a parrot robot thing, and picks up a companion pretty soon after that because he needs a companion. Especially Tom Baker's Doctor needs a companion. But so, anything else you want to add about Doctor Who?
No, still waiting. I'm still like I said previously. It's like this Doctor doesn't like him. This is a very self-loathing Doctor, which is exact opposite from what Matt Smith's Doctor was.
So, we just got through watching American Horror Story.
Well, not yet. There was something else that we watched last week that we did not talk about. Project Runway.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
We watched Project Runway. We didn't see. We're a week behind Gotham.
We are, but we had talked about it last week.
Yeah,
when we saw it. So.
No, but we did not talk about Project Runway.
Okay.
And the reason why we wanted to talk about Project Runway because...
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yes.
And wow.
And all three of us knew who got kicked off because that was all over the interwebs about everybody loved the fact that she got kicked off.
Have not heard anybody really talking about Project Runway spoilers all season online or anything. Suddenly she gets kicked off and all sorts of people are posting how much they are happy that she's gone. Although I did see one or two finally that posted defense that they're like, well, we don't care about her personality, she actually could design better than the ones that are left. And I'm like going, some of the ones that are left. And I'm like going, she didn't win that challenge that got her kicked off. She went out of her way to lose that challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neither the secondary challenge.
The one that can't sew as much, but I think actually still has a better design aesthetic to a degree. I think she has a much more interesting design viewpoint. Beat her hands down in the second challenge.
Yes.
And that would have been a good... I think that in a different challenge could have even been a winning look, a top look.
A top look, yes.
A top look in a different challenge, where her look would have been a bottom look in any challenge whatsoever.
Yeah.
Her try to save herself was her just making another bottom look. And she went down. We have not seen anybody go down in flames so beautifully as she did. It was quite remarkable. It was pretty much a guaranteed, oh my god, we have to see the reunion show.
Yeah, especially because she didn't stop. Well, her name's Karina, by the way.
Yes.
Karina did not stop trying to throw people under the bus and accusing them of things. Even after Tim Gunn got into the room to witness her do this, before he said, you need to pack your stuff and go.
Yeah,
He's in the room, and she still didn't stop doing it.
Yeah, she was just amazing. So
when she has another person helping her to create a secondary look in an hour, and the other person is saying, I want to leave, this is nothing but negativity, and it's going to show in the outfit. And, you know, you have an hour, and you've made the person helping you not want to help you anymore.
Yeah.
Because of everything that you're spewing. So, Karina got kicked off. Keeney won.
Keeney won.
He won with a soccer ball dress.
Yep.
They took soccer balls, you know, and cut them up, and he made a dress out of it. And everybody wanted that dress, including me.
It was a very interesting dress.
Yeah.
I liked how it still had the soccer ball logos on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, now we could go and talk with what we just saw.
Okay, so, American Horror Story.
Freakshow.
Freakshow, first episode.
We're not going to say too much.
Because it's
just the day after.
Yeah. So there are people out there who I give that you have not had chance to clear out your DVR on this one yet. So, no spoilers here.
No, not really. Aside from this, it's like, oh, I was so excited.
And aside from things that you've seen in commercials,
yes.
too. Okay, so I
feel
some of the stuff we're able to say because we've seen it in commercials.
Yeah. Not getting too much plot away because there wasn't really much plot. It was just a setup episode.
Yeah,
anyways.
And anything that happens in the first half of the episode, I feel, is pretty much okay to talk about also, because that's still just setup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're building up to the things that are spoilerish in the second half.
Yeah, but it was funny while we were watching this. Is like both Edward and I would all of a sudden take notes during commercials.
It basically it's set in a freak show setting.
In the 1950s.
In the 1950s, in Jupiter, Florida.
Jupiter, Florida. That's where they are right now. Who knows if they're going to move or not.
Right. I have to say that I actually have issues a little bit with the setting. I didn't think I was until... I actually didn't have issues with the setting until a musical number came up. And the musical number is a song from the 70s. And there was nothing in the episode that seemed to really indicate that they were going to play with anything like that. and there's a promo that shows them using a song that's from the 90s, but everything else is still set in the 50s. So, I don't know. I just find that, and it's not just, oh, it's background music, it's the characters are singing the song, so they know the song from the 70s and this song from the 90s. I don't know, that actually took me right out of it for a moment.
So I had no issues with it, because I could suspend disbelief.
And I really liked, I liked the song, I liked the version, it just took me right out, because there was nothing that led up to that making me think that there was a reason for this. So, but we got conjoined twins.
Which, they look better, the conjoined twins look better in the show than the still shots. You know, in the little promo commercials.
They look a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, because the way the still shots and the promo commercials looked online, I'm like, ugh, that really looks cheesy.
It just looked like one body with two heads. It looks like they kind of bulked up the top part a little bit in the show, because I don't know if you ever saw that TV show with those really cool conjoined twin girls. Abby, was it Abby and something?
I have no idea. I didn't
Abby
watch
and
it.
Ashley or something like that.
You and the roommate to watch that.
Who, they were conjoined just like the girl here, basically one body, two heads. Well, there's stuff going on. There's actually internal doubling of internal organs, so the body actually is a little bit different shaped than just what a regular one body would look like. And in the promos, it looked like it was just one body, two heads. So I was happy about that. There's a lobster boy.
Yes.
Which, there's a scene in there that just made me go, ew.
Oh, the Tupperware scene?
The Tupperware scene?
Yeah, because she was selling Tupperware in the front. Did you hear her when the one was walking down the hallway and it's like, now ladies, let's get back to the Tupperware.
Oh, I missed
you
that.
Didn't hear that?
I did not hear
that. It was
that.
basically a new version of a Tupperware party.
Okay, because, wow, ew. That's all I got to say there. And we've got a killer clown.
Yep, another reason for people to be scared of clowns.
And he does balloon tricks.
Yes, I know. Not very good, because the balloon, when he was making the balloon animal, it popped. And I think that's when he lost. He got pissed and lost his.
That's what
temper.
I was just gonna say. Is if you see a clown that looks like he may be a killer clown, applaud at everything he does. It's when people were having issues with him that suddenly things turn sour. When she just took his bouquet of flowers and stuff like that, all was good. It wasn't until the boyfriend had an issue. Things turned sour. And what else I got? Apparently, you can walk into a diner in the 50s, order food, and just say, I don't pay, and leave?
Well, because she's famous. Famous people don't pay. That's what she stated.
That's what she stated, but is she really famous?
Everyone's,
or is she just famous in her own head?
Everyone's famous in their own head.
Right, so I'm thinking that maybe they just let someone just walk out of the diner.
Why not? They let her walk around the hospital.
Well, but she disguised herself as a candy striper.
And she's disguising herself as famous.
Okay. And carousels are creepy.
Really?
Yeah, carousels are creepy. I don't know why people don't find carousels creepy. They never look like they're not run down. Even brand new ones always look like they're about ready to like just fall apart. They don't go anywhere. So it's just symbolism of your life going absolutely nowhere. It's carousels are kind of creepy, actually. Yeah. And that's pretty much my notes.
Well, I've got two more.
Okay.
In fact, I'm not quite sure if I like the bearded lady's accent.
Oh, she's from like
Baltimore. She's pulling the John Travolta northern Baltimore accent.
See, I don't think she's doing Baltimore. I think she's doing like Scandinavia.
No.
I think she's supposed to be like Fargo, Don't You Know?
No.
I think
It
there's
didn't
supposed to
sound
there
right.
will
It
be a
didn't
Don't
sound
You
right.
Know coming out anytime, I think.
Nah, it doesn't sound right.
But
And then the other thing is, like, as always in an American Horror Story, there's lots of sex scenes.
that's my Lobster Boy ew moment.
Well, don't forget the movie.
Well, the Lobster Boy was in that too. The movie, you know what? I couldn't even be grossed out by the movie because I couldn't even figure, because of the way they were cutting back and forth and the graininess of it, I couldn't figure out what was going on in the movie.
Well, with the parts I did figure out, I'm like, ugh.
I seriously couldn't
I had more
figure out
to do
any
with
parts.
that than the Tupperware party.
I couldn't figure out anything that was going on in the movie. I'm like going, I don't. At one point I thought something was going on. I figured out, oh, there's something going on. But the other person that would have to be involved was actually 3 feet away, just lounging on a couch. And I was like going, okay, no. There's nothing going on there. I don't know what I'm watching in this. I was just more confused by it.
Okay.
I can see why she wouldn't want that released, but yeah.
All right, now we're on to our top 5 things, because it is Thursday.
It's Thursday. Halloween. Top 5 Halloween lists. Woo!
And this week it's horror films. Our top 5 horror films.
Top 5 horror films, and I think that Joseph is actually going to be surprised by mine.
So
I think he thinks that he knows what mine is going to be like.
I think that it would be surprising if we get one is the same.
Oh, I guarantee that none of ours is going to be the same.
Yeah.
But there is one that didn't make mine because I think it's going to be on yours.
So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to do 5 down up to 1.
Oh, see, I don't have them in any sort of order.
Mine are in order.
Mine are not in any sort of order.
Mine are so
go first.
My number 5 is Phantom of the Opera, 1928 Lon Chaney version.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
The fact that what the Phantom looks like when he's revealed from the mask was basically unbelievable makeup. I mean,
facial contortions.
Yeah, and
too.
facial contortions.
I mean, Lon Chaney Sr.
Yeah, things that he did to that was just unbelievable.
The pain that he put himself through to do those things too.
Correct.
He did horrible things to his body to do what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But nice choice.
Okay, yours?
Is there music in that one?
Yes. Well, it's a silent movie, so it's nothing but music.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if it was silent or not.
No, that's a silent movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and real quick, and the Opera House at Universal Studios is still standing in the soundstage.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. 1973, The Wicker Man.
Oh, that is a good one.
Which I introduced you to.
Yes, we saw that.
It's a weird movie because there's not really a lot of suspense. If you don't know what's going to happen from pretty much 15 minutes into it, then you weren't really paying attention.
Yeah.
It's more just watching it unfold and its inevitability that really carries it forward, and the great performances. I still actually think that this would make a fantastic Weber musical. And it's just a fantastic movie about conflicts in religion in a way. And yeah, I absolutely love The Wicker Man. Not the remake. The remake misses the point.
Yeah.
And I don't even hate The Wicker Man for the same reasons that everyone else does. I just don't like the remake of The Wicker Man. I don't like the remake of The Wicker Man just because it misses the point, and really nobody... It commits the sin of nothing original, no enthusiasm, nor any sort of just joie de vivre. So there's nothing to it. It doesn't even redeem itself as a bad movie. So that is The Wicker Man is my starting point.
What are you doing?
I'm writing something.
You're writing something. Oh, okay. So my number 4 on my list is I believe 1934 Dracula with Bela Lugosi.
Okay.
It's that eerie, creepy, gothic, feel-good kind of movie that I really like.
Feel good.
Feel-good kind of movie.
It's a feel-good kind of
It's
film.
a feel-good kind of film.
Now, have you ever seen the Mexican version?
Yes, I have.
I've heard some people say it's actually better, other than missing Bela Lugosi.
Mm-hmm. And Bela Lugosi is the one who made it. If it wasn't for him, it would be a horrible movie. But the whole atmosphere, the whole feel of it is really good, and he makes it.
Well, he had played the part on stage.
Yes. And it's his iconic, he's forever known as Dracula.
Yeah. But I mean, and that, like I said, that's how come they brought in this unknown Hungarian or whatever actor, Bela Lugosi. I think he's Hungarian, something like that. But that's why they brought in this unknown actor to play Dracula, is because he had done so successfully on stage playing the same part prior to it. So, but that's another good choice. I like that.
And yours?
Okay, now we're going to get into things that I don't think anyone's ever heard of.
Gee, there's a shocker.
I'll just be honest right here. And I'm going to go with most likely the most obscure one, and that is Katie Bird, Certifiable Crazy Person. Not everybody's cup of tea. I will say that right off the bat. I believe it's it's one of the early NC-17 movies, and it takes place with. I mean, it's about a girl who she's crazy, and she kills people, but she was kind of raised that way by her almost equally crazy father, and she has a weird sadomasochistic vibe going on. It's because he punished her, so while she captures and tortures people, she's actually looking for love and torturing and punishing them, because that's what love is. And she'll periodically torture and punish herself in the process as well. And it sounds like, oh my god, the performances and the script and the pacing is what really makes it. It's gruesome, so if you cannot deal with blood or, definite depictions, I would say don't watch this. But the acting is really good in it. You really believe and sympathize for Katie Bird, and the pacing and everything really works. Your next one?
My number 3 is, I can't remember the year, I didn't write it down. I know it was in the 1950s, but Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Ooh, see, I thought about Psycho. And your reason?
It's just psychological. It's a psychological thriller. Plain and simple, it's a psychological thriller. You think it's something completely different than what it is. The first time you ever saw it, you think it's just going to be a murder mayhem kind of a show, and that Anthony Perkins does it all. But no, it's his mother. Little spoiler alert.
And
for those of you who haven't seen a 1950s movie,
filmed in Phoenix. Part of it.
Beginning of it is filmed in Phoenix. The rest of it is filmed in a soundstage.
With Vivian or Janet Leigh?
Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh. I always confuse the two. And it's one of those great moments where she got top billing, star role, everything. She's done in 20 minutes. Close to.
Half hour.
Yeah.
And you know do you know the 2 secrets of the infamous shower scene?
Chocolate syrup?
Is the blood, yes. The other one?
I don't know what the other one is.
The other one is to get a reaction out of her that was to show that she was scared and was being killed. Is during rehearsals, they planned it out, but when they actually filmed it and it was done in one take, they turned off the hot water on her.
Oh yeah.
There was nothing but cold water on her, so her reaction is pure.
And then someone opens it up and just starts whacking her with a daily paper. Here's your paper. Here's your paper. Here's your paper.
And your number 3?
My next one, because like I said, mine are in no particular order, is the 1988 Dutch film, The Vanishing. It was remade with, I think, Kiefer Sutherland as an American film, and it's not that good, the remake. The original is just a great movie. It's worth reading because I think it's only available through Criterion, and Criterion doesn't do dubbing, they only do subtitles. But it's very much worth it. It's basically about a guy who, he and his wife are going on a little trip. They stop at a gas station, and his wife disappears. And nobody's willing to acknowledge that they saw his wife. He can't find anybody and like, he just spends a year or so looking for his wife with nobody willing to acknowledge that they even saw her with him when she disappeared.
Did what's his name? Liam Neeson do that too?
I don't know.
Yeah, that just came out. That sounds a bit like a Liam Neeson movie now.
Well, when you say it, it kind of does sound like it. Except for there's really no ass kicking involved or shooting people in the head, so I could see Liam Neeson doing it. It's just a case of, I don't think that it would be what people expect from a Liam Neeson movie, to be totally honest.
Yeah, because I think it was like they were on a plane together or something like that, and
oh, maybe
going to Europe and.
Yeah, this one, they're just driving, and like I said, it's a rest stop, she disappears. I don't want to get too much into it. It's another one that, if you've seen any movie even vaguely like it, you're probably gonna figure out what's going on. But it's still really good. The inevitability of it, the ending will still probably catch you by surprise, because you know what's going to happen, you just don't know how it's going to happen. And it great ending, which the Americans ruined. I'm not one of those that thinks that America can't do remakes, but this one, America could not do this remake. They messed it up. So the next one on your list?
Number 2 on my list is the original 1979 Halloween.
Halloween!
With Jamie Lee Curtis, the original Scream Queen.
Ah! Who went on to do Halloween 2, and Prom Night, and Terror Train.
But Halloween is, yes, it's actually the only one of my top 5 is a more of a slasher gore film. Because I'm not one for those styles. Give me a good suspense thriller or ghost story, and I love those those are the kind of horror films I prefer. But just the nuances of it. I mean, the way the camera angles are is like, you think he's dead and he's behind the couch, and it's a close up on Jamie Lee Curtis, and then all of a sudden in the background you see him get up. Things like that. It's the sheet scene where he kills the boyfriend and he comes in wearing just the sheet and the glasses over. That whole thing. When we were young, growing up, we were at my mom's cousin's place, and there was a bunch of us sitting on the living room floor, and the parents were on the couch, and I don't know how my uncle did this, but he was basically walking down the hallway wearing a sheet at the same time that was going on in the movie.
I always remember the scene where Michael, what is it? He kills someone and hangs them against the wall or something like that.
Against the door, and then he looks
and then
at
he
it.
And then it's like he just studies it.
Yeah.
And there are just so many beautiful little moments, just small, tiny moments like that, that I seriously don't think that Carpenter's ever captured again. And and this is not me saying anything bad about Carpenter. I just think that he got it so perfect the first time. It's kind of like Michael Jackson with Thriller, and everyone talked about how each one of his albums after that was a disappointment. Well, his first album was, or not first, but the big album was Thriller. Of course, everything from that point on is going to be not as good. And that's kind of how Halloween is. It was Halloween. Of course, everything's not going to be as good.
And of course, the music of it,
which he composed.
Yes, it's also a friend of mine, Ted Kirby, his favorite Halloween film at all, and every year he usually has people over just to watch that.
Huh?
And he's been to the house.
Huh?
In that, and as well as that neighborhood. You know, on his Facebook page, there's pictures of him. Just, you know, there's a picture of him sitting on the wall, holding a pumpkin, like in the movie, right there at the corner.
Okay.
It's really cool.
And yeah, this is one of those movies that I don't care if Rob Zombie did a good job or not. It didn't need to be remade.
No, it doesn't.
My next one, and this is going to be easily, probably, in many cases, the worst movie on my list, but there's a reason why it's on here. And that is a 1983 movie called Extra. It's actually kind of a sci-fi horror movie. And it has a lot of B-movie trappings. I don't think it had the budget of a lot of other movies, even out of that time. But, and a lot of things that you see in it now, if you watch it now, you're going to sit there and find some of it predictable, as in, oh, I've seen that. We've seen that a million times. On Rotten Tomatoes, a lot of people make those same comments. Well, those reviews are from, like, about 3 years ago. At the time that Extra came out, no, you did not see that before. And there are, the alien himself is creepy, and they did a very interesting job of making the alien look different. It involves a story of basically a man, a woman's kind of abducted by an alien, and then her husband disappears, and years later her husband reappears, and he's kind of wanting to pick up everything where he left off with their son, though. He seems not too interested in anything else. So, and I could probably go into more details even at the beginning, but I don't think they'd be spoilers, because I think they're just part of the setup. But since I haven't watched it recently, I don't want to risk spoilers.
And that, we're also running out of time.
Yeah. But there's 2 scenes in it that are incredibly memorable, that involve the neighbor lady, and that's really what made it on my list. Those 2 scenes are just, they burn into you, and you will never forget those 2 things.
So my number 1 horror film of all time, which is very obvious if anybody who knows me, it's the 1981 version of The Changeling with George C. Scott. Creepy, 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 creepy. I refuse to watch this movie at night. I will only watch it during the day. There are iconic scenes that always make the top, 25?
It does. I don't understand it. I didn't see
I
watched it and did not see anything scary.
My family could, especially my mother, can just say something to me from that movie and I get the heebie-jeebies and I'm done.
There's the wheelchair.
The wheelchair, the
ball,
the seance scene. I mean, it just flippin' creepy, 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 and that's all I'm going to say. It's my ultimate...
It's a ghost story.
It's a ghost story, but, we're running out of time, so let's not get into more details, and I don't want to get creeped out even more just talking about it.
Okay, well, the last one on my list would be the 2006 movie The Descent, which I've always jokingly called a lesbian horror film, because it's pretty much an all-female cast, and they're off without their boyfriends, and pretty much bitching about men for a good chunk of the intro of the movie. But it's hard to decide what's the scariest part about this movie. Is it the interactions between the women? It's this group of women who decide to go spelunking. And
that one.
Yes.
Okay,
and
they were showing that on Logo.
It's a great because it's a lesbian horror movie. It's not a lesbian horror movie, but it's a lesbian horror movie. And one of the girls chooses a site, but unbeknownst to the rest of them, she chooses a site that actually isn't the site she tells them all. It's actually an unknown site, and an unknown cave area. And so the interactions of the girls as they start fighting becomes really on edge and thrilling right there. There's something in the cave, And those are spooky. And the cave itself, the cave is what gets me the most. Just going through this unknown spot, and they never know what's on the other side of these dark corridors. Or even, I mean, there's one spot in there where, as they're crawling through it, they don't even know whether or not they can go through it, because it's dark. You can't see what's going on. There's no map. It's one of those that I always recommend to people to watch. It's a great horror movie.
So that's our top 5.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
We don't have time.
Okay.
That's our top 5. So tell us what your top 5 are, and watch these and tell us what you think.
Okay, and we'll try to hit the honorable mentions tomorrow. So don't forget about Joshua Tree Feeding Program. It is a feeding program that helps people with HIV and AIDS get food. They have a sister program, Joshua Tree Pet Assistance Program, that helps people get food for their pets so they don't have to choose between feeding themselves and feeding their pets. The website is www.jtfp.org, and all volunteer organizations, so they'll be more than happy to hear you about what sort of assistance you could give. And until then, we'll catch you all tomorrow. Probably see if we can catch a couple little comments here and there. And anything else?
That's it. Good night, good morning, goodbye.
Toodles!